Good morning, New Zealand.
It must be the morning, yes. So there is hope for Brendan Hartley in his F1 career.
Yes. Did France Tost?
Yes.
He's caught up Max Verstappen and trying to overtake him. So very different fuel levels or something, or that Renault is going to fly this weekend.
Could be a tip there. Yes, didn't Franz Tost, when he was asked about driver lineup for next year,
including a mountain bike race where he competed in Colorado going uphill from 10,000 feet to 13,000 feet. I don't think there was much breathable oxygen at 13,000 feet. Apparently there is.
not when you're riding a bike, though, is it?
No, exactly. But he had a great time with Mark Webber and his wife Sarah, with Brendan Hartley apparently. So he feels thoroughly refreshed and invigorated. Let's hope that translates to some good performances, because they will guarantee him a seat with Toro Rosso next. He has been stuck in the garage, not many laps, and last of all, I believe, still in the timing sheets. But it is a used medium tyre. And talking about tyres, finally, Crofty, are we not headed for one of the few two-stop races of the season?
I hope so.
I hope we are too. More of that throughout the weekend.
Yes.
I've got my pencils.
Variance on strategy, that's what we want to see. Quite a few marbles. To the side of the track there as Daniel Ricciardo makes his way round curve Paul Frere and onwards towards Blanchimont. Ricciardo 6th fastest during the qualifying simulations, getting a lot more track action. The former winner of the Belgian Grand Prix this afternoon than he did this morning.
Speed and teamwork, with the fastest pit stops all the way to the finish line. F1 on Sky Sports, brought to you by DHL.
I've brought good grilling to Great Britain because a tasty footy match is like a juicy burger. There's two halves, buns, your star striker, patty, red cards, ketchup, yellow cards, mustard, corners, cheese. No, Morris, no fruit, don't be weird. And to top it all off, a little bet. I'm going each way for a draw.
Don't bet silly, bet savvy.
Knock that off.
Get up to £15 in free bets when Man City score against Wolves at coral.co.uk. The smart money's on Coral.
Hello, Ghostbusters.
It's Greg from the Halifax. I've got your new Visa debit card.
We got one!
Here you go, guys. They're contactless. It's the quickest way to buy things up to 30 quid. Easy peasy. Oh, while you're here, they could do with some help upstairs. Oh, there he is. I ain't afraid of no... Oh, are you okay? He slimed me. Actual physical contact. I prefer contactless. Now go bust that ghost.
So here's to another year of multi-cover.
Cars and homes on one policy. Seems obvious now.
No good for my family. Our home and cars have different renewal dates.
But that's not a problem. You tell us
So the sooner you tell us,
the sooner you say.
get your multi-cover savings at Apple.com. Kate is explaining to Hannah just how busy she is. Well, how busy?
So busy. Just incredibly busy. The busiest of the busy. That's how busy.
Too busy? G&D?
No, obviously not that busy.
Gordon's. Shall we?
celebrate the career of an Academy Award-winning icon with our first ever Denzel Washington collection. On the day's work, live and on demand. It's been the most compelling season of
So here's Charles Leclerc behind Stockton Van Dorn. Dorn back out onto the track after a lengthy stay in the garage. Charles Leclerc 19 laps in this session, Van Dorn 18, so not a huge amount of difference, about only one lap between them in terms of those completed so far. But unlike Van Dorn, both Leclerc and his teammate in the top 10 from the best times of this FP2 session. 11 and a half minutes to run. So the key thing is how fast are the cars over one lap, qualifying competitiveness, and then after going flat out, how long do they make those super soft tyres last, if indeed they are the tyres that start the race. Hamilton's on a flat spot to set the super soft, so if he carries on like that, they'll do the same to the medium as well.
Struggling to slow that car down without locking up the inside of the front. You can see there into turn one. Down at the source, and something that's a bit more tricky to sort than just pure brake bias. Usually you can just flick a few switches on the steering wheel that we often see, especially in qualifying, to very wide and definitely lose time by going that far out of the circuit. That would have been a moment where the driver has to back out of the throttle to make sure that you don't spin up the wheels on the AstroTurf, because even in dry condition, of course, there's so much torque that goes through these rear tyres, these rear wheels, that you would easily spin around if you were to keep your foot in the hard.
Drivers going as wide as they do.
It is for Formula 1 cars, for GT cars that use this circuit as well. Don't forget, it's not really good enough. And that's the difficulty that circuit designers find when they're designing the runoff areas. Yeah, one of the best tracks to still say for that is Silverstone. I was just racing there at the weekend, and in the wet, and they have the small patch of grass, and because it's a bit more of a rough ride than the AstroTurf, it's a very good deterrent not to go onto it. And then you have your tarmac area after that. Then you have, in some corners, gravel track after that the tarmac section.
It's deterrent, safety,
extra safety, yeah, exactly. So I think that's the perfect compromise, and I'm surprised that more circuits don't adopt that kind of system.
Congratulations from your Silverstone run, by the way. Highest placed Brits.
I've had better, but yeah.
Highest placed Brits.
Thanks to a few cars not making it to the end of the race, I think.
Where did that put
part
you?
of it.
Where did that put you as highest placed Brit?
Oh, 7th overall.
Excellent.
Yeah, I wasn't too. Didn't win the Tourist Trophy this year.
Right, super soft averages. Let's give you from the race pace simulation.
Please do.
Let's give you some averages on the super soft tyre. Might be skewed a little bit, because don't forget Lewis Hamilton got rid of his super softs a little bit earlier because of his flat spot, but he averaged out with a 148.7. Sebastian Vettel 148.9, Max Verstappen a 149.0, and Daniel Ricciardo a 149.6.
Interesting.
So on those averages, neck and neck.
But like you say, Hamilton wasn't out there as long, so it might have skewed the results slightly, because you're looking at a shorter run, obviously on fresher tyres, and you haven't got that drop. Not the cliff. I refer to the cliff as when you're basically down to the bottom end of the compound that you run on the tyre, and you're almost at the canvas. Then you really suck, and there's nothing you can do to survive without getting overtaken. But there's a gradual drop every lap that you do, especially on a circuit of this size. Every lap you do, you get the drop in tyre performance as the gauge of the tyre gets thinner and thinner.
What was Paul di Resta was saying a few races ago on one qualifying from something like a super soft tyre, you're taking 25% of that premium grip away from the tyre during the course of one qualifying lap. So you've then got to manage the rest of it over as long a stint as you can possibly find.
Yeah, it's like that, you know. These tyres are very peaky to drive, so you get a very good first lap out of them. And then the second and third lap, nowhere near as fast as the first lap, but then that rate of degradation decreases, but it still drops every single lap that you do. So yeah, you lose a huge amount of performance from lap 1 to lap 2, and then it's about managing that gradual deterioration of the tyre as you carry on. But the soft tyre looks like the tyre to be on, and that
It often is.
Yeah, especially on a circuit like this. And if you could get them up to temperature, because it's that higher working range, so you have the softness of the compound, but then they can engineer in differences of temperature ranges that the tyre is able to withstand. So, yeah, strangely, the super soft tyre has it's got that lower working. Sorry, the medium tyre, so the harder tyre than the soft that they're on now, mainly has a lower working range than the soft tyre does.
Oh dear,
that didn't go well.
That didn't come off the way it should have done. Nah, eventually. Pit stop practice for Salvo. 3 times this year they've had the fastest pit stop. And the crew have been working well on that occasion, though. Well, that just didn't want to come off. Ted, down to you.
Take your wrists off those guns, won't they?
They are very heavy.
Wow. No, I mean the torque, just the shock load that goes through your wrists when you try it. Can we just talk about weather? So
well, we're British and we should.
Well, you talked about the working temperature of the tyres just now. So with Kimi Räikkönen fastest of all, maybe we haven't seen what Sebastian Vettel has fully up his sleeve just yet. So what's to get in the way of a Ferrari front row in qualifying tomorrow? Well, it seems like the weather. At the moment, it's saying that we only have a 62% chance of rain around midday, and that actually gets less and less throughout the day. It's going to be chucking it down, I think, for FP3 tomorrow, Crofty,
really?
Then drying out throughout the afternoon, and that might just save Ferrari's bacon. But I found it was interesting listening to Räikkönen yesterday. We reflected this on Welcome to the Weekend, our new show, which is available on all Sky Sports F1 platforms, by the way. Have a look at it, it's all right.
Yeah.
The first one yesterday.
Half an hour with all the driver interviews we can possibly cram in, or as much news as we can bring you on a Thursday.
Where Kimi Räikkönen said that he's fine with it raining tomorrow. He doesn't think the Ferrari is a bad car in the rain at all. And he's basing that on his performance, or the performance of the car in Budapest qualifying a few weeks ago, whereas Sebastian Vettel, very different signs I was getting, very different information. He was saying we have a good car in the dry, not so much in the wet. And I'm just wondering, where have we seen that before, where Vettel's not at peace with the car in the wet? I don't think we have too much, have we? I wonder what it is part of this Ferrari that doesn't work in the wet for Vettel.
He wasn't overly at peace with his car in the wet in Germany.
Yes, I know, we've seen it. We've obviously seen it there, but we haven't seen Vettel struggling in the wet with cars before, in other cars, have
well,
we?
next weekend marks 10 years since his first ever victory in Formula 1 in the monsoon-like conditions of Monza that particular weekend, and he did not put a foot wrong in qualifying or the race.
There's something about this Ferrari that just doesn't suit, whether it's the tyre warm-up or wet tyres or whatever, or something upsets the handling, or the turning isn't quite right. Just doesn't work for Vettel in the wet. And he was saying that again yesterday. So he will, at least for one, hope that it's a dry qualifying tomorrow.
I'm sure he will. Can you believe 10 years this year and kind of next weekend, Dan, from Sebastian Vettel's first win in Formula 1? I've already done the I feel rather old line, but this is now making me feel even more old, isn't it? 14th of September, to give it its precise date, 2008, Sebastian Vettel for Toro Rosso. Their only pole, their only podium, their only win in Formula 1, and what a brilliant day it was.
Yeah, and I remember his that first pole position that he had in Monza in the race. That was amazing. Yeah, it's just I know that it's mostly about the car. And that's a perfect example of the driver, cutting turn 4 at the top of the hill there. That's what they're looking out for.
That's not allowed. This is.
No, that's not allowed as well.
That's fine. It's on the white line. That's fine. This is. And that's okay.
Just about. Yeah, you're just in. So inside that white line, if there's one part of your tyre that's inside the white line, they're going to be onto you. but they've got that sensor there, haven't they? And I
Yeah,
wonder, I'd like to
detection
see exactly where that is. But he would be allowed to get away with that one on the exit of turn 9.
You're not gaining an advantage, apparently.
You didn't lose that much time either, but we'll get that.
Kimi Räikkönen, late score flash from the super soft averages. Oh, Kimi Räikkönen, now he's finished the super soft run, sneaks in there with a 1:48.8. So puts himself a 10th on average ahead of Sebastian Vettel and a 10th behind Lewis Hamilton.
But a much longer run.
Yeah. I think so.
I think it's I think it's going to be tight between the Ferrari and Mercedes, but yeah, they both look pretty well poised around the track. Don't know who's going to have the advantage come qualifying, but yeah, certainly the race balance of those cars look to be an even match, I'd say, at this stage.
Everyone ready?
Vettel's
Okay, let's go.
out there on the hardest tyre that we have this weekend, medium. So that's working pretty well for Ferrari as well. Kimi's work is done.
He's done for the driving. He's driving the fastest man this afternoon as well.
Yeah, so a good run on those tyres, so lots of good data, but a little bit of good run actually, that part tyre, a lot of history. So it's hard to see him in the mirror.
Out of the go. I'm sure if you were one of those Ferrari well, this is a great race, rally, and for going inside. I dare say that won't be the case tomorrow, but that's going to be fascinating if it is.
I don't think they'll look at it much in the race at all, but qualifying, we do not want to be running wide, but it's easier to do it for that one-off lap, just to make sure that the limits. Of course, for the drivers, it's blind as they go up the hill, even though you know where it goes and the flow of the corner. I think the fact is they're so used to running over that curve and getting away with it, that it's catching them out today. You don't want to go putting the car through unnecessary stress through that corner, because it's stop the speed, it's simple as that.
And Max Verstappen's work behind the wheel has done for the day as well. He's 7/10 off. It's about the gap half expect between Ferrari and Red Bull, given the power disadvantage that Red Bull going to be having on that one. Sebastian Vettel 7/10 down, but before everyone gets carried away, it's going down. He didn't get qualifying simulation lap in. It's down to the stuff, wasn't it? Wide.
Yes, yeah, they smacked it over to it. The car was great, actually. Qualifying, but it really was in Kimi. So yeah, just a moment of imbalance on the rear, just stepping out forward into 14. But yeah, the Mercedes look pretty high today. Coming back to that battle with Hamilton. Yeah, I think the front end was really sticking as well. And it's going to be a good fight.
Sebastian Vettel, 5 occasions this season, has led FP2. This entire record led FP2. Last ever in session 1. All the way back to Sergio Perez, second fastest force India. Perez certainly more in a situation that you expect from him. 3 seconds off the race there. Force India, the best in the match in terms of Perez's quickest time. On the medium tyres, Sebastian Vettel 1:48.2. And his race pace average. Lewis Hamilton 1:49.1 for his race pace average. Here, advantage of Ferrari on those medium that of course is because a lot of this race will be in the road on those medium tyres in terms of the soft. Sebastian Bottas 1:48.7. Max Verstappen, Daniel Ricciardo both 1:49.2. So that's the end.
So the fight is, yeah, like we expected with the 400 we've got to the fight between. So Ferrari, what can Ferrari do in qualifying? How far can they turn that engine up? Who has the best qualifying balance? Is he going to be wet? Lots of question marks at this point. But I think the long run, I'd say the car's been pretty even. And the key thing to this race as well, Mercedes Ferrari standing out, who comes out on the top. Once again, it's 2 against 1, isn't it? Valtteri Bottas will start right at happens bad because of that penalty. Which they take it because they have to, and they've had to upgrade at the end of this weekend. They didn't like it the fastest then, as I mentioned, for the first time in a practice session since Bahrain, FP3 and FP2 that weekend. Bottas and Hamilton, second and third. For Mercedes, Bottas will take the grid penalty on Hulkenberg.
Fantastic. That was the fastest lap.
Didn't get a clean lap in this qualifying simulation. That's why he ended up 7/10 of the rest of the grid. So it's win in Formula, the second win, I should say, in Formula 1. Sergio Perez managed to get into the top 10. His teammate Esteban Ocon down in 13th. The Hasses 12th and 14th couldn't get into the top 10. Both Salvos were Ferrari powered, of course. And Fernando Alonso could only manage a best place 16th. His teammate Stefan Van slowest in that session. McLaren seemingly struggling for pace on this Friday afternoon. So there we go, good day
Right,
at
coming
the
in the end of
office
this
for
lap.
Ferrari. We're back tomorrow, third practice session from 4 to 11. Qualifying is from 1, the F1 show from 5 to 9 on Sunday. On air from 12:30 on Sky Sports F1 with races starting at 2:10 and there is all this to report. Very good guys for the others.
It has been weird, it has been unfair to me. I wrote Christian after the comments in the summer. He apologized by email and hopefully he apologizes again this week.
And the paddock's newest team principal joins us now, Otmar Safnar. Well, first of all, congratulations on a personal front. I was supposed to say it's a long time coming.
Well, yeah, thanks very much. I'm not sure what's changed or anything. Thank you.
Okay, look, on the serious bit then, obviously it was a tough period, I should imagine, for the team, but you've got the rescue package in place, obviously with Mr. Stroll and his consortium. How did it all play out from your perspective, Omar?
Well, I mean, the thing that I had to do in all this was keep the team informed of what was happening and make sure that everybody had good information so they could make good decisions. You know, it's trying times when you're in administration and you don't know what the outcome is going to be. There's a lot of anxiety and uncertainty. And the more information that I could give all the employees, the better off they were going to be, especially leading into the summer break. So that was my role in the entire thing. The administrator had his role, and that was to find a rescue package. And Lawrence put together a consortium that rescued the team. I understand there were other credible bidders too, and the administrator had to decide.
It's been quite a complicated thing for us to try and get on top of as well, so you've been through it all. But as I understand it, the cars are still Force India cars.
Fastest lap is a 1 minute
That's right. So the chassis name is still
24.3.
Force India, and you know, everybody refers to really the chassis name as the team. You know, in the team name, though, we now also have Racing Point. So we're Racing Point Force India, and Racing Point just came from the fact that the company that purchased the assets of Force India is Racing Point UK Limited. So that's where that comes from.
But Racing Point starts with no points, correct?
Racing Point starts, that's the point. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Racing Point starts with no points, and that's because we're a new entrant.
Right.
So
all that prize money's gone, all that hard work this year has just evaporated.
yeah, so the prize money stays because all the other teams have agreed for us to keep the prize money, even though we're a new entrant. So usually for a new entrant, you don't get to keep the prize money. And for a while there, from what I understand, there was going to be a share sale, but that just couldn't happen for various reasons. And therefore, an asset sale means you have to be a new entrant.
How did you get that across the line? I mean, it seemed like that was the major sticking point, because just for those out there that might not know, the limited company, the old limited company, was the entry, right? So you needed to get the transfers of the commercial rights to the new entry. And then the old one annulled. So, but the other guys in this paddock clearly would have something to say about that.
Yeah, they all, to be fair to them, they all agreed. And they were all supportive. And I think they looked at it and thought, you know what, Force India finished fourth last year. They deserve the prize money going forward, independent of the entry. And they all signed up and said that that's okay with them. And once that was okay with them, it was just FOM that also had to agree. And FOM said, yeah, that sounds fair. Now, as far as the entry goes, that's not an FOM issue. That's an FIA issue. And the FIA said, well, look, if you're a new entity, you've got to become a new entity.
Some pressure from Liberty to get this across the line, because obviously the last thing
they were supportive, they helped. You know, Liberty were great. They said, yeah, we'll sign up to that. And they too tried to help convince some of the teams. You know, a lot of teams had to do their due diligence to make sure what they were doing was right for them too. And in the end, they all agreed.
I mean, a lot of this, I think, leave fans quite cold. And, well, they don't want to know about this stuff, but it is very much part of Formula 1, isn't it?
It is, and the nice thing with keeping the name Force India is just that. I mean, from a fan perspective, we still have pink cars, we still have the same sponsorship, we still have the same employees, we still have the same drivers, we have the same motorhome, we have the same equipment. So from a fan's perspective, we look the same, and therefore the name Force India should obviously stay, so you don't confuse it.
Okay, so when is Lance Stroll going to be driving for you, do you think, Otmar? Is that going to happen this year?
I don't know. I mean, in the short term, and we're going to have the same drivers, and we got to start thinking about next year pretty soon, obviously. But yeah, that kind of stuff we haven't decided.
And what will happen, do you think, to Esteban should that happen? I mean, are you guys actively looking around if there is pressure to move him somewhere?
If that happens, then we got to decide what else we do. But you know, you need continuity from one year to the next. Somebody that understands this year's car versus next year's car, somebody to help develop it. We'll see. That'll all come in due course. Right now, we're happy that we're racing.
Thank you, Omar. Thanks for coming to talk to us, and it's great to know that the team's going to survive. We really appreciate your time, and they're looking good, aren't they, this weekend, because Perez was right up there in the rankings in terms of timesheets. Let's hear from Kimi Räikkönen, talking to Craig Slater.
Kimi, can you tell us how the car went today, and what kind of boost do you think you may get from the new power units?
Well, obviously we never put in a car anything we don't think is a
track is pretty empty right now.
Forward
lots of
better,
space.
so you know, it's impossible to say. It's not like a night and day difference ever. Otherwise it would be too easy if that would be the case. But okay, it's only Friday, so who knows what will happen over the weekend.
It's been a long time since Ferrari won here. It was your last win here as well. Do you feel you might have the car? Is this the best Ferrari car you've had here since that time?
Well, for sure better than the last time I won here. That wasn't a very strong car. It came better in the end, but I don't know. It's Friday and we do our job, and hopefully it's good enough to be in the front fight.
Sebastian, how did you assess today, and can you quantify the benefits of the new engine?
No. I think it's doing what it's supposed to do, so yeah, I need to have a look, but on that front I think everything was working, so we'll see. I think Friday you can't really tell, so we need to wait tomorrow.
What about if it's cooler or possibly wet tomorrow? Any concerns in that area?
I think we had our...
All clear the garage, please. Car ready to leave.
These long flowing corners that you get around this track, I think it just suits his style. I think it suits the Ferrari. At the same time, he's always going to have to capitalise on that, because when you have a car that gives you sort of the stability of braking, then you know it's going to have that good stableness when you go through that sort of corner, long left hand. So I think it just suits his style, long flowing.
Yeah,
Why do you think Ferrari, quite often seems to be quick on the Friday and then it all changes? What's that? I think it's just because I think Sebastian sort of just don't throw that on. Then he, a bit like Lewis, when he comes in qualifying, what do you want to do? Always braces that level, and that seems to be where people are quite, he's enabled to or did Ferrari kind of put stuff in his mind and do certain things which I don't think there's that much that they really throw on it. I think it's just the driver's ability to get the best out of himself when it counts. Doesn't matter. We'd like to see him win that.
You've dropped down to P2.
You like seeing Ferrari?
Yeah. There's nothing like a Kimi on the podium, is
Mercedes garage with the boss speed. We can't look that way because the cars are a bit, so we can only look this way. It's very nice sort of Mercedes seats. I wouldn't sit down, but I can't actually, with all this equipment on my belt, I can't sit down. Oh, you were sitting down just a moment ago. You stood up.
Yeah, I prefer because you're much older than me and when you were standing and I was sitting, so it was not bad.
How old are you? I'm 44. How old are you? How do I say?
I think we were doing the thing is very Ferrari. We were doing the technical
New engines for both of the drivers. Tell us what kind of work has everybody been doing in Brooksworth? We haven't had a summer break, let's not forget. Engines aren't on a summer break. How much are we expecting hoping for this new car?
It's the third power unit and most unit 2 power circuits to come here in the most and we'll see how we can modify tomorrow and qualify.
And of course Ferrari, same thing, they've both got new ones as well. We expect that to even itself out, and if so, then you see the order. Is it possible that anyone could have made a step forward over the break, even if everybody closes, freezes, if you like?
Yeah, I think you would see the last engine iterations that you were able to make steps forward. And I don't know what we're able to achieve. We will see the truth tomorrow in Q3. And I'm hopeful that we'll do the right thing.
We'll see. Don't you very relaxed last
yeah, nice to spend some time with the family, but then obviously the closing things got too busy.
Okay, well maybe we'll speak more about
Just 30 seconds left in the session.
Okay, so next day for Daniel and Mo is supposed to be the opening practice session with engine issues. So for the second
Not an ideal day. The simulation session this morning, the issues this afternoon, but what have you learned?
What do we learn? We learned a few things. I think we still made some time, we still made some changes to that second session. Yeah, we still got some things to improve, so I don't really know. We felt like little changes today, just trying to keep on for that train with another problem. So it was one of those things we didn't really find a sweet spot. So yeah, we'll work tonight. Obviously we missed some lunch this morning, but yeah, maybe I wanted to be more of a summer break, but I was ready to go. So yeah, hopefully it's alright.
How's the atmosphere with the rest of the team?
It's good. It is honestly. I had a good bit of team time yesterday, and yeah, spoke to everyone. And everyone's cool. Everyone respects the decision, and I think more than anything, everyone's ready to kick on and finish this one.
You guys, perhaps you can tell us how difficult is it when you made the decision to leave the team? For the rest of that season, everyone obviously thinking, or not.
No, I think you've just got to focus on your job, which is to do as best you can with the weekend, with the equipment that you've got. You're aware that you're not going to know what's going to be happening for the future with the design. You know you're going to be sort of involved with that, but you just got to sort of, really get yourself sort of mentally prepared to have a bit of a tough run to the end of the season.
I think in our case, it wasn't so often we decided to leave, it was they decided we were leaving.
Sometimes a year before.
Yes, exactly.
Good stuff. Next up, we've got qualifying in F2 here in Belgium.
Sky Sports F1.
Speed and teamwork with the fastest pit stops all the way to the finish line. Sky Sports F1, delivered by DHL.
What is a flat white?
2/3 coffee, 1/3 1/3 milk, 1/3 foam.
It's the complexity of the brewing of coffee and the simplicity of its mastery.
It's all about the micro bubbles.
Micro bubbles.
What is it like That's the stronger life.
It's like what? Now at McDonald's.
Perfect.
So, some bozos dented your vehicle. Julian, could have been anyone. Him, them, Marigold. Anyway, you're probably thinking they wiped out your no-claim discount. But you're with Direct Line and you're not to blame. So unlike other insurers, you can claim and your no-claim discount is safe. I'll leave you with Bridgeton.
Out now. It takes a team to put something great together and protect its success. Esso Synergy Supreme Plus Fuel are going behind the scenes of great shows like Westworld and some thrilling live sports to show you the journey to making great content. Don't miss our series The Road to Production and get the inside scoop on some of your favourite shows' inner workings. Join us online now at skysports.com/The Road to Production.
When you fancy a lager that's as crisp as it is flavourful, you just have to make it. Maltsmiths, when you love what you do.
We began to worry about our finances, especially with living costs going up all the time. We had thought about releasing money from our home, so we visited the Age Partnership website. We were delighted to find out any money we released would be tax-free, and more importantly, we'd continue to own our own home.
We use the money to pay off our existing mortgage. And since equity release is only repaid when we pass away or move into long-term care, we now have no monthly repayments, with even a little left over for our retirement.
If you are over 55 and own your own home, contact Age Partnership for a free brochure on 08080 555 888 or use our equity release calculator at agepartnership.co.uk.
Watch out, we're green. Now stay alert, threats around you.
F2 championship here, Monza Sochi, rounding things off at the Gasparilla circuit, which is about set to qualify in Belgium. Anthony Daisley controlling Urban alongside. Just got a quick word on the front court time drive out. We know that there is a single favourite to Toro Rosso, one of the judges.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's used to be sponsored by Red Bull on his way up and doing a good job now. So yeah, I mean, all of those drivers can be realistically looking at Toro Rosso now. We've had the first shuffle of drivers in Formula 1. Each driver in distance below. Lando Norris, second at the moment. You know, he had a race win. So that would have made a big difference to him. He has been very persistent for us.
Russell Norris at the top of the pile.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the super softs.
Welcome to Belgium and welcome to a qualifying session which always delivers. The drivers are completely on the limit around one of the greatest circuits on the planet. They all love this venue, but now it gets serious with 4 points available for pole. The championship contenders know that from here on in, every session is vital. What a circuit they have. 2 second qualifying times this afternoon. Traditional 2 DRS, so 19 corners, 4.3 miles, 7 kilometres, and 102 metres of elevation change. Very badly with a movement back in 2016. It was extremely wet here into the halfway mark. Nice through Malmedy corner. And this circuit can fight back. Very badly on the left, that was well on the right, and then down at Blanchimont. It's still a doing media for the team you're racing with them. That is in Motorsport. So the cars queuing at the end of the pit lane. Interesting championship scenario that we had last year. It was Lando Norris, the car in the corner of the picture.
We need to push now. Set ERS deployment to overtake. ERS to overtake. Okay, gap to leader, 12.9 seconds.
To 25 points out of his main championship rival. George Russell, our championship leader, with 171. Norris with 159. So those are the top 2. Alexander Albert's victory in the second race of the Budapest weekend. Williams to play as well. They are get out there on, as you can see, the yellow soft Pirelli tyre.
Be careful with the front wing, you've taken some minor damage. Check your MFD for a new strategy option. Okay, the safety car is out, the safety car is out. We need to form up at a reduced pace. Keep a close eye on that delta time. Make sure to keep it positive. A new strategy is available on the MFD.
Victory 12 months ago, and
got that confirmed.
Very confident around this circuit. A winner in Formula 3, a winner in GP3.
You've got front wing damage. Recommend you box for a new one.
There is our last pole sitter for the weekend. Sergio Zericamera, number 4 driver to take a pole in 2018's M2 season. His teammate Lando Norris. So Cameron was second earlier on in practice today. We've seen drivers once they score 1 pole go on a run. We've had 3 poles in a row so far this year with Albon, as well as George Russell, the championship leader. So Cameron wouldn't mind continuing that streak of consecutive poles. The last time Artem Markelov, the driver you're looking at right there, scored a pole position back with the old car in Abu Dhabi in 2017. So it's been a while since at the front of just like Russell. He is waiting. We've got everyone out on the circuit apart from the Russian driver who you were looking at. Didn't appear to be a problem, just decided
Release.
Slightly differently. This is the longest track of the season, and it is one where you cannot really
Up to speed now. Let's get some heat into those tyres.
Find that gap, warm those tyres, warm the brakes, and
balance. The car set up with the rapid final centre of the lap that they are in right now. So this is just heading out onto the circuit. Aitken slotting in ahead of Sergio Sette Camera.
Okay, noted.
And Sette Camera not particularly pleased with what happened there from Aitken. And the drivers, Sergio Sette Camera, such a calm, relaxed and pleasant chap outside the car. Flicks just the visor though. They're different beasts. 27 minutes to go, so they can run as many laps as they like. But remember, they've got to make those soft tyres last for a while. And sometimes, depending on the temperature that we have, it's on the lower side, so it might not be that much of an issue. But the track temperature is 26 degrees, air temperature is 17. If we look at this magnificent corner, let's get Louis Delatraz's thoughts on Eau Rouge.
Everyone, I'm Louis Delatraz, racing Formula 2 with Carroll's Racing System. Here behind me, big Alvin is coming to Eau Rouge. Eau Rouge is probably one of the most important corners, the most famous Formula 1. It's a huge uphill, really impressive, flat out every lap. You want to go flat out, you have a long foot behind the front and they come. Favorite corner here by far. I love it, so yeah, Eau Rouge back to the front.
Louis Delatraz loves it, so does the rest of the racing world. We go back to live pictures. You can see that Maney is leading the field around. Again, they're still fighting over track position. And this is the final warm-up lap before they will set their times. On the initial run, Markelov waiting to go slightly later. He is now out there on the circuit. So Makino and Markelov are waiting, doing something slightly different. They're on board with Lando Norris, who's one of the drivers jostling for position. He hasn't taken pole position since the very first race of the year. That was back in Bahrain when he made an explosive start to his first full season in Formula 2. He had a round back in Abu Dhabi after becoming the F3 champion in 2017. And he's not going to wait any longer, something that Aitken is deciding to do. So 4 drivers so far on pole position so far this year. Hat-tricks for Albon, 3 consecutive poles from Azerbaijan into Spain and then on to Monaco, and then Russell was the
safety car in this lap. Safety car in this lap. Let's make sure those tyres are up to temperature, and remember there is no overtaking until the first safety car line. Stay in position until the green flags.
So we're waiting for the first flurry of laps. Remember, a good initial banker can give you an enormous opportunity to improve your lap as we go on. And De Vries, fastest in practice earlier today, trying to build the momentum. He had a little bit of a difficult time in qualifying in the middle of the season. France and Austria did the triple header, really. Massive problems from he was 8th, 9th and 11th. Contrast that to what we saw before when he was on the front row, and we're on board as he goes to the Radion corner onto the Kemmel Straight, building speed all the time. And De Vries, once he gets comfortable with the team, does seem to take him a little bit of a while to get comfortable with who's around him. And once he does, there is no denying the Dutchman's pace. He's going to have amazing support in the races, just like he had in the Hungaroring about a month ago now. We're going to get our first initial readings in terms of lap times. Last year it was set in the wet. He was a 2:20. That's no help at all. But if we expect the screen to be purple right now, and this is just all flat to the floor. The next thing that he's going to do is so important. Over the bumps, it's the hardest braking point on the circuit. Blanchimont, blink and you missed it, and now back down the gears for Nick De Vries, the McLaren Junior, who's done so much simulator work for them. And of course, he was ahead of the driver that could be in the McLaren team. That's not a route available for De Vries, and he cuts the line to set a 1:56.4. So can Norris respond to that? He's not faster at the moment. So Norris, it's all about traction coming out of the bus stop. Kuntzer goes faster, Norris goes faster than him by 9/10 of a second. Aitken slots into 4th, and the time disallowed for George Russell. That was a pretty swift decision. So time disallowed for Russell and De Vries. So track limits, and I would think that that is at the Radion corner as Artem Markelov using all of the road and a bit more. He comes out of turn number 9 into Pouron corner. So De Vries and Russell with their times deleted, putting a little bit of pressure on them, and they will hope that the soft yellow wall Pirelli tyre does last for another lap, because if not, they are immediately on the back foot. And Lando Norris, who of course today has been competing for the McLaren Formula 1 team, taking Fernando Alonso's seat of all people. In the first 90 minutes of Formula 1 running, he went faster than his teammate in the session, Stoffel van Dorn. The driver, of course, that he is trying to replace, and Russell hasn't been fazed by that at all. He has gone round, he has done another lap, and he's gone 2/10 faster than his championship rival, George Russell, the provisional pole sitter. Let's see where Artem Markelov, who's had a lot of landmarks around this circuit, first points here in GP2, first podium here in GP2. He took the win in the feature race in Formula 2 last year. He's 4th over the line. Just set a camera at Norris and Russell ahead, and what a response from George Russell, the Mercedes Junior, who wasn't fazed by his time being deleted. He just went round and set the fastest time so far.
The Prince had his time disallowed because he went wide in Eau Rouge.
So Norris was informed about Russell being on the back foot, and then Russell responded, and it's superb stuff from him. On board with Alexander Albon, heading down into the Ravage corner now, getting too much curve on the inside. You don't often see that on the apex of the corner. Now this is a replay for why Nick De Vries had his time disallowed. Race control, well, it was marginal. Back was so close, they deemed it all 4 wheels off the road. As you can see, De Vries has not gone on to do another lap like Russell did. He came straight back to the pits, and he is under pressure. See his teammate just ahead in 17th position. Not be pleased to have the time deleted, but it's not coming back. And the new set of some Pirelli tyres is ready for the Dutch driver.
Fuel target is +1.
So
Faster
really
engine modes are
interesting
available.
battle, as you would expect, between the drivers battling for the championship. Another driver who absolutely loves it around here, took his first ever GP3 win here for Arden back in 2016. It's Jack Aitken, teammate to the driver who is currently on provisional pole, and Aitken is dropping down the hill now. It's the 100-metre descent all the way down from turn number 8, Ravage.
Can you confirm to stay the front? Can you confirm to stay inside the track limit during this run?
Yeah. The gap behind us is 4.3 seconds.
So stay within the track limits is the warning, and Russell saying, of course I did. Easy as that. Aitken with a personal best in the opening sector. He needs that, you have to say, as he goes into the Fagnes chicane. Sometimes packed by the locals, but if you look hard enough, you can find them turning corner names for everything around here. So through Stavelot now, Aitken, see enormously off the pace of his teammate. It's 1.1 seconds, and he'll hope to gain that all back now. Hopefully, from his point of view, he's gone for a different setup. Albon trying to get past his issues with this Spa circuit. We saw a mistake on his initial run. He's on a lap as well, down there in 6th place. Let's see first of all though, where the ART of Jack Aitken, GP3 runner-up from last year, lighting up the rear tyres as he goes over the line with the use of DRS, and he stays in 14th. That is massively disappointing for Aitken, who remember was on the front row last time we raced at the Hungara Ring, his first ever front row start in Formula 2. Alexander Albon now building into completely flat to the floor. How late dare he break into the bus stop? Rear just trying to get away from him there. set a personal best in the middle of the circuit. Albon flat to the floor, changing gears, but not improving. And it is still sixth for the Thai driver. This was Markelov down the hill, and they're so... Oh, he was lucky to keep it out of the barrier there. That is so close to the wall as he headed back down the hill to Buon corner. So Norris knows he's within striking distance. First time he's been taking part in a Formula One weekend. Of course, he's run plenty of miles, over 1,500 kilometres for the McLaren Formula One team. And now at his favourite circuit, he's got 2 tenths between him and his championship rival. What a battle we have in prospect for pole in the second half of this session.
Expect these tyres to be good for a while yet. Just be careful with them in the high-speed corners.
Will elect to go out, whether they'll go out at the same time, whether they'll split the strategies, whether they'll go out slightly early.
By about 3 tenths
A couple of drivers now. Gunther is one, De Vries another, Louis Delatraz, we're looking up there in 5th. He's been giving us tips about why he loves this circuit so much. He certainly seems to know what he's doing around here. 5th place for the Charouz Racing driver. So he's just made his way through Buon corner. He's good enough for 5th at the moment. Let's hear if we can pick up any tips for how he's done.
I showed you part 1 of 4, this is part 2, so it's a very long left hander, it never ends really. It's turning left, 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 and everything will turn again, just pulls in the top, very spectacular, very impressive, and I'm fine, I love this motor, it can make a difference around
So Louis Delatraz talks a good game, but he's backed it up with 5th position in the order. The only drivers ahead of him, Markelov, Sete Camara, Norris, and championship leader and provisional pole sitter, George Russell. So, De Vries has been forced to run in the gap. The reason for this, that his time was deleted. He wasn't able to go again. He went wide at the radial corner just after
down to mix too soon.
He went all 4 wheels off the road. As we see Morandi just park up there. Really entertaining session so far, so we're telling you that in his first ever Formula 2 qualifying session, Dorian Boccolacci is the one driver change in for Roberto Merri. He's a multiple race winner from GP3, the Frenchman, currently good enough for 17th ahead of Pisani and Morandi. Remember, Morandi is only really in his second round, so he is a rookie just like Boccolacci, graduating to F2 from GP3.
So it could be that they've taken away Russell's sport. We're not sure, but at the moment he's still on the board, and the Vries had his time taken off him. His time taken away, so maybe his world map away, but the limits are really tight.
2 laps of fuel remaining.
So Norris, in conversation with his engineer there, a very good point that has just been made. So Russell getting the debrief there on the iPhone, looking at the various data as they make fast changes. I wonder if... So he's only completed 4 laps. He did not go again. The soft tyre doesn't allow for that. So Russell has only completed 4 laps. Now whether they're taking the laps was a judgment off the road off that marker, it wasn't entirely clear whether he went round again or race control, and this would be unusual, changed their mind. So the message we had at 2 minutes past the hour, time disallowed for Russell, track limits, time disallowed for De Vries, track limits.
Has front wing damage,
Whether Russell has had that time reinstated. Time being 2 tenths of a second between first and second. Boccolacci Going up a gear, more power at his disposal, more downforce at his disposal. A winner in Abu Dhabi last year, a winner of the most recent race in Hungary. So De Vries is most certainly not on the board. The only effort he has registered so far is a 2:17. That is a warm-up lap. And the soft rubber, he's got to set the time with the track. Of course,
This is
always going to be evolving.
final lap of the race.
Yeah, perfect time to be last over the line.
Very, very tight. Very off the white line, you can go out. The brake was too much out.
So Markelov being warned there that it's a matter of millimetres when you get to the top of the hill, when you go through Radion corner. So DRS open, De Vries on the back foot, but with an absolute bucket full of pace. Can he deliver with the track completely deserted at the moment? Only Günther is out there as well, but there's a big gap between the pair of them, about 30 seconds between these two. So De Vries plumb last at the moment. Can he turn that? As you see, he was being very circumspect at the top of the hill as he builds onto the Kendall Straight. You're on board with him on his flying lap. It certainly was. Certainly would be millimetres, and he won't be happy with it when he looks again. But the one thing I would say is that knowing how race control go about their business, if they're going to be very, very strict like that, all the drivers would have been warned about not cutting the corner at the top of the hill. Eau Rouge in to Radion. On board there with the McLaren Junior. Found himself ahead of Norris this morning. He found himself top of the pile this morning. Not even a personal best for De Vries. He's got to dial back the frustration, try and deliver what he showed first time out, which was really, really strong pace. But not even a personal best for him in the first part of the lap, but it can completely change now. So into the middle part, can he claim that time back in the middle part of the circuit? Yes, he can, in a major way. So clearly not going for straight line speed, clearly going, you could almost call it the Red Bull setup of having a lot of grip in the middle part of the circuit. De Vries having to run in the gap with everyone else apart from Günther in the pits, and so now he's trying to keep hold of the advantage, big advantage he's got over Russell for the moment. De Vries somehow has never taken a Formula 2 pole. He's always in the mix. He's been on the front row plenty of times, including twice already so far, and he cuts the beam to go fastest of anyone so far by running in the gap. 10 minutes to go, and that is the time thrown down by the Dutch driver for Prema. Nick De Vries currently sitting in provisional pole, and that was a strong lap. You could see didn't have initial pace at the start. He made all of his time, the only sector